Man, the fact that I'm making this video in the first place blows my mind, and it kinda gets me sort of frustrated. Like, to be honest, this topic pisses me off because just seeing what we're seeing with the Calgary Flames and some former Vancouver Canucks defensemen, it's getting me, like, pulling my hair out and screaming to the heavens and the hockey gods, why? Why are they so good this year? What happened? Why did we not see this in Vancouver? And then I remember, okay, it's because we had Benning, it's because we had Willie Desjardins, and we had Travis Green, and these guys that didn't really know how to use these players in the right way. Let's talk today about Calgary Flames defenseman Chris Tanev, as well as Calgary Flames defenseman ERIK GUDBRANSON. Now, if we talk about these two guys from the perspective of the Canucks fan base, you'll get a few very distinct emotions that arise when you bring up these two names. For Chris Tanev, there's a little bit of a familiarity there. He had been on the Canucks for a long time. He was one of the last active Canucks from the 2011 Cup run to still be playing on the team in the most recent few seasons. The last one, very last one actually, being Alex Edler before he went to the LA Kings. For Tanev, he was always a stable, shutdown defenseman. He could do really well in his own zone. He was good at reading the play, getting his stick in there. He was a fearless warrior who blocked shots. And because of the way he played, there was some concern by Canucks fans as to whether or not Chris Tanev would actually be healthy enough to be an extended long-term option for the team. Now, I get it, he already played on the team for like 9 years, so there's already a good amount of progress there. It's just, during the time the Vancouver Canucks lost out on Tanev, he was 30 years old. Who would have known if he'd be able to make it to 33 or 34 or 35? Playing the way that he does, he had never played a full Vancouver Canucks season until 1920. There was always this reputation of Tanev being made of glass because of how frequently he blocked shots. And so there were some concerns with the projectability long-term of a guy that plays the way that Tanev does, but when it comes to just in isolation, his impact on the team, he's very, very effective, and a lot of Canucks fans adored this guy because of it. For ERIK GUDBRANSON, he was supposed to kind of play the same way that Tanev does. Defensive shutdown guy, blocking shots, but he's a lot bigger, so there was an implied physical edge to GUDBRANSON's game that Chris Tanev would have lacked. It's just, unfortunately for GUDBRANSON, he wasn't really that good in Vancouver. He really wasn't that good. You want to talk about him supposed to being like a Chris Tanev, shutdown guy who plays on the right side and who can neutralize play. He would get turnstiled so often, and when he would get the puck in his own zone, he would throw it up to the opposing team's forecheckers so frequently that it would be such a disorienting pattern that Canucks fans would get used to for 3 years. ERIK GUDBRANSON was not great with Vancouver, and it was made even worse by the fact that they acquired him because they traded away Jared McCann. Because they traded away Jared McCann and a second-round pick, you can't forget about that, for a guy that stuck around for 3 years. Ultimately, he was traded for Tanner Pearson, so there you go, Pearson's still on the team today, but ERIK GUDBRANSON was not good. Chris Tanev was sort of made of glass, although he was adored and he was loved by the team. I roasted these two guys in my West Coast Roast video. Yeah, you remember that, right? I made that in 2018. A satirical rap song of me criticizing the Vancouver Canucks, and I talked about these two guys specifically in there. These two guys, as shutdown right-handed defensemen on the Vancouver Canucks, were just more or less that on the team. Shutdown defensive defenseman who played on the right side. Tanev was smaller than GUDBRANSON. GUDBRANSON was supposed to be more physical, but he really wasn't. And they would both get injured sometimes, and that was pretty much it. Now you look at where they are today, and ERIK GUDBRANSON on the Calgary Flames had got himself, and you're gonna freak out when you see this, he got himself his 14th point on the year a few days ago, which sets a new career high in points on a season for this guy. He has a plus 15 rating on the year, which is mind-boggling to me based off of how he played in Vancouver, where his best season was 2017-18, where he had a -7. He was a -27 when Jim Benning traded him away to Jim Rutherford and the Pittsburgh Penguins. He had a career high of 8 points in 57 games with the Vancouver Canucks. This year, he's on pace for 21 points over 82. My goodness, how the heck did ERIK GUDBRANSON actually start producing? He's got 5 goals on the year. This is a career high in goals too. You couldn't tell me at the beginning of the season, oh, Calgary acquired this new guy, ERIK GUDBRANSON. You couldn't tell me and pay me to believe that he would be on pace for 21 points over one season. This guy is on pace for more points this year than he had as a Vancouver Canuck in 3 years. He had 19 points in 3 seasons in Vancouver. He's on pace for 21 points in 1 year with Calgary after going to Pittsburgh, Anaheim, Ottawa, Nashville. My gosh. Talk about Mr. Worldwide over here, Pitbull saying that and only talking about North American cities. But like, ERIK GUDBRANSON was a Vancouver Canuck, and then you give it, 5 teams later in the span of 2 years? And now he is one of the better shutdown D on Calgary? I've seen what your Flames fans have been saying about ERIK GUDBRANSON. He's gone out there and actually done really well as the prime penalty killer. He's physical. He shuts down the play defensively. This is what he was supposed to be for Vancouver. This is the player that Jim Benning was trading McCann away for. And yeah, I'm salty that we didn't get that in Vancouver. I'm salty that he sucked in the blue, white, and green. I'm salty that he's doing well for Calgary of all teams now. And now for Chris Tanev, I mean, look, it's wild because for Tanev, he played his first full year, like that was actually like a full year. The 2019-20 season doesn't really count because it was cut off. The 2020-2021 season, you could say it doesn't count because it was only scheduled for 56 games and not 82, but he played the full season last year too. That's his first full, 100% completed season. If you don't want to say 2019-20 and the shutdown bubble year was that already. Take a look at this tweet over here from Tanev and his performance this year. Chris Tanev's assist gives the 32-year-old Flames defenseman a career-best 21 points. Last week, it was GUDBRANSON setting a career high in points. 2 defense-first blue liners thriving offensively under Daryl Sutter, just like we all predicted in September. Chris Tanev has 21 points in 60 games for the Calgary Flames this year. He's a +25. He is on pace for 28 points over 82 games. He hasn't missed a game this season, and he's on pace to finishing off the year with a full slate. How is this possible? I'm sorry, I love Chris Tanev, and if you've been watching this channel for the past few years before he got sent over to Calgary, before he signed the contract, you'll find many videos, game reports, and other Canucks videos of me talking about how Tanev is a valuable piece of this team and how he's good and how he does what he needs to do. But I would also bring up, okay, he's made of glass. He would always block shots. He would always get injured. He had 50, 60, 70 game seasons with the Vancouver Canucks. He never broke 80. The most games played he had in a Canucks year was 70 in 2014-15. This guy would miss out on games. But now, in Calgary, not only is he thriving offensively, setting a career high in points, but he's on pace for 28 of them. My gosh! How in the world is this possible? The Calgary Flames have ERIK GUDBRANSON and Chris Tanev both producing the way they are, and at the cap hit too. Tanev's making 4.5, and he's still as good as he is as a shutdown defenseman. That's wild. GUDBRANSON's making $1.9 million this season. 1.9. And he's on pace for 21 points as a shutdown, penalty-killing, solid right-handed defenseman who hits. He hits now, people. He hits more in Calgary than he did in Vancouver in 3 years combined. You want to know the real kicker, though, that makes this all the more just face-palming for Vancouver Canucks fans? You talk about Chris Tanev and his 21 points in 60 games this season, his on pace for 28 points, whatever. Let's stick with the 21 points. You know how many points Oliver Ekman-Larsson has on this team? Oliver Ekman-Larsson in 58 games played is a -1, and he has 17 points. Chris Tanev is outproducing Oliver Ekman-Larsson at half the cap hit. Benning, man! Travis Green, man! Willie Desjardins, what's going on? Why you guys not use these players properly? Who knew that Goodbranson and Tanev had themselves offensive sides to their games? Because I didn't. I watched these guys for years. I watched Chris Tanev ever since his first NHL game in the playoffs, in the finals, the Stanley Cup Finals against Boston. I've been watching Chris Tanev in almost every game he has played since then, in the blue, white, and green sweaters. But I didn't expect him to do this. I didn't know this was possible. Maybe Daryl Sutter is just a god, but like... ah, man, I can't believe it anymore. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about the Calgary Flames defensemen doing all the things that I thought they wouldn't be able to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. So, 99, and bye.